Today we're going to cover offline credit card mode. What offline credit card mode is intended to do is if your internet goes down or there is some sort of an issue where you cannot reach out to the internet to get credit card authorizations, the credit card offline mode is designed to make your terminals capture the credit card data, hold it, print a credit card receipt, and allow you to present that to customers and continue to operate your business even though you cannot get real credit card authorizations. It's important to note that since Future is not reaching out for an actual authorization on these cards, it is not going to know whether or not these cards have enough money on them to be able to cover the actual transaction amount. This is specifically important when you're talking about debit cards. Generally, credit cards are going to get authorized even if they're going over their balance in a restaurant. But a debit card would generally, unless they have overdraft protection, decline that transaction. So you are not protected from that particular situation. So let's use as an example, my internet is down and I just got a message on my screen that says socket error. Socket error is telling you that it cannot get a socket in order to be able to get the transaction authorized through the internet. So generally what we're going to recognize is that you just go ahead and put your system in offline credit card mode to be able to take care of the customers that are in front of you or at tables, and then you can work with our technical support team in order to be able to figure out what the actual issue is. So offline credit card mode is under the manager functions. You're going to sign in, go to manager functions on the terminal, click credit card offline mode, you'll get the prompt, click OK, and now you will be able to go ahead and swipe your cards and that terminal will hold it. Keep in mind this is terminal specific, so any terminal that you would want to be able to run offline credit cards on, this process would have to be repeated. So the best way to check and see whether or not your internet is off or back would just be to try to open up a browser on the back office computer or whatever your main computer is if you don't have a back office, and try to surf the internet. If you cannot get authorizations on that, then you should look for the training video of how to reset your internet, and that will also walk you through the process of resetting your modems and routers just in case you have a piece of hardware there that's frozen. So let's assume that you do check an hour or two later after you've been in offline credit card mode and you do see that your internet is back. Then what you're going to do is go to each terminal and you're going to click offline credit card mode again, and it's going to tell you it's now in online mode. And then you are going to click process offline transactions. At this time you will see the normal processing screen come up for when you're processing your credit card, and it'll go away and it'll come back up and it'll go away for each transaction. If you do happen to have any declined transactions, it will tell you declined and you can click OK on that for it to run the rest of the transactions. At the end it is going to say, would you like to delete all declined transactions? And you want to say no at this point. You do have the opportunity to come in the next day and hit process offline cards on that terminal and try to send that transaction through again until finally it processes. If you are unable after say 3 days to process that transaction, you will get the error message that comes up when you can't process it. It will say declined, and at the end it will say, would you like to delete all declined transactions? At that point you can say yes. On the printer on the terminal you will get a report that gives you the whole credit card number and the expiration date. I'd recommend that you call the credit card company to get a manual authorization for that card if in case there's another issue other than not having enough balance on that card to be able to do it. Now again, it is very important that you click process offline credit cards on all the terminals. You will push the transactions through on each terminal when you do that. If you want to check at the end of your process to make sure that you processed all your cards, you can click on the offline credit cards pending report, and this should be empty when all of your credit cards that were offline were processed. If you have additional questions on the offline credit card mode with Future POS, please give us a call in our office.